So I made a public declaration yesterday that I am going to shoot a video every single day in my currently 43-degree cold tub. And I did this for one reason only, and that is I am facing a part of my life that has held me back, that has kept me from living out my purpose and my passion in life. I have always tried, my mind has always tried to keep me safe and protect me from negative emotions. So in this case, I'm putting myself out in these videos because I want to attract a large group of people that are like-minded, that are looking to improve their mental well-being and be the best versions of themselves. And in order to do that, I've got to create content. And creating content has always been scary for me. I'm opening myself up for criticism, rejection, and all sorts of negative emotions. And in the past, what my brain always ends up doing is succumbing to all of those fears and all those negative emotions, and I just shrivel up and play life safe. So, forcing myself to do this, despite the negative thoughts and emotions that are inevitably going to come up, is the way out of this. If I can accomplish this, then I am better suited to be able to face those negative emotions in the future when I'm doing other difficult things. Notice I said face those negative emotions rather than run away from them. That's the natural way that humans cope with negative emotions, is we run away from them. So what am I going to talk about in these videos? Well, today I'm going to talk about what I believe, in my opinion, is the number one skill that one can develop and enhance to create a life of purpose and a more meaningful life, more happy life, more joy. And that skill is called psychological flexibility. Psychological flexibility allows us to live our life, in other words, make our decisions and take actions based on what is important to us and the values that we set forth, rather than doing what most of us do, and that is we make decisions and take action based on what our mind tells us to do. So in our mind, we have this voice that's constantly running. This voice, it's always observing the outside world. It's drawing conclusions, it's making judgments, it's making comparisons. And that's not a problem. This is normal. This is how we live. The problem is that we just live and take action based on what our mind comes up with. Well, what in the heck is our mind coming up with? Well, it's programming. Where does the programming come from? The programming comes essentially from our life experiences. So, we've got an idea of who we are in the world and who we're supposed to be. That idea of who we're supposed to be, or who we think we're supposed to be, was not created by us. It was molded into us from a young age, and still into adulthood. We are still, you ever notice how you do stuff to try to win the approval of others, and to how to avoid the disapproval of others? Why do we do that? Well, we do it because it feels good to be approved by others, and it feels bad to be disapproved. So what our ego does is it tries to protect us from all of these negative feelings and emotions. So with psychological flexibility, which is a skill we can develop, and I'm going to be talking a lot about this, we don't get to a place where we don't have this programming, or that we don't face these negative emotions. But what we do is we get into a place where we can actually face them head on and be okay with them, and then take action again based on what is important to us. So it's an exact example of what I'm doing by doing these videos in this god-awful cold tub every day. my mind is really going to start to question, what am I doing here? Is anybody listening to these videos? Does anybody care? Is anything that I have to say important? I mean, all those things are going to come up. They already have started to come up, but I just notice them, I let them go, and I keep forging forward. So that's a little bit on psychological flexibility. We could talk about this for hours, and we're going to. Just keep watching these videos. There are 6 components. There are 6 specific skills that we can work on that make up psychological flexibility. And I'm going to talk about those 6. I don't know if it's going to be necessarily like each of the next 6 videos is going to be these 6 components, but I'm going to be talking about them. And there's a framework that puts all this together, and it's called ACT, Acceptance and Commitment Therapy. It's my favorite thing in the world. It became my favorite thing in the world literally 15 seconds after it was introduced to me back in graduate school. So there you go, psychological flexibility. Look it up. I'll see you tomorrow.